Yo, what is good? My anime faithful, what is good, yo? There's a reason why I'm using Thanos for this week's episode, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But this week we actually get our show back. It was missing for a whole entire week, and it was nice to wake up to a Thursday and have it back on the lineup. So let's get straight into the circus. We needed this. Our boy had ran away quite a bit ago, and we had no answers to what he was up to or what was even going on after. So pretty much we know now that for some reason him leaving and getting, it's almost like him getting the feeling of what's her face, the girl being so nice to Guy and all that stuff. He almost felt like he wasn't supposed to be there or something, or maybe that his journey is not going anywhere. So for some reason he decided, which I don't think I read fully on the sub, if they did like specify why he himself wanted to leave. I think he just did it. Like, it was like his body's natural reaction for some reason. And we kind of see why it's an actual thing for him to do. It's like he wanted to visit all of his past areas for some reason. And it's pretty clear once you see that he goes all the way to his place where he used to live with his mom, and then he goes over to goes to somewhere where he, pretty much knew of, but hadn't been there in so long that he didn't even expect it to be up and, living and stuff like that. So all of these different things seemingly were all plotted in his mind, or at least somewhat implanted to do these things by his father. And his father, I guess, being multiple people at time, like he's been in multiple bodies at times. So we also learned that he couldn't remember his dad's face, and so it kind of makes sense why he couldn't remember it, because he could have been in possible multiple bodies, but for some reason he knew his father's voice. And I don't think the reason why he hasn't seen his father in a long time is because for some reason he is his father. Like, it's super weird. So the whole plot of why I wanted to use Thanos and stuff is because recently some things have happened in the actual comics itself. So if you don't want to be spoiled about the comics and what's going on in like the recent stuff of Thanos, wow, I just lost. Well, it is on hard, so I can't. It makes more sense. If you don't want to be spoiled, cover your ears or go skip this part of the video. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thanos dies in the recent comics, and like Gamora pretty much takes up his reign and just starts going in on people. But on the flip side of all of that, for some reason, when we got to hear what Thanos' testimony was, or pretty much his will, if you can kind of say that, there was something that had a message for if he ever died. It was implanted on his body, and for some reason his brother knew exactly where it would be. Convenient enough, it was in a location that didn't get damaged after Gamora goes in on him. But with seeing this, it's this whole Thanos pretty much is going to be able to put his mind into someone much stronger. And by much stronger, I mean someone that we know already. Someone like Tony Stark, someone like Venom, people like that. And that's kind of where that, like, Thanos' overall story is going. That's what's happening verbatim in this show this week, is his father wants him to pretty much download his memory into his son so he could pretty much become his father. Like, he would become not himself anymore, because Supposedly that person doesn't exist, quote unquote. But wow, this Yoshimitsu is dirty. I need to practice more with this as well. Um, but overall, we got to just understand clearly what could be possible for the kid, and seemingly he might have an awakening, which is absolutely nuts in my opinion. Where if he does do this download, he would probably become a puppeteer god. Like, he has 3 suitcases that are all catered to his father, and if he had the memory of his father, he would know exactly how to work them. Hence why he made this flying griffin that isn't that, it's like a griffon instead of a griffin or something like that. And it's pretty much the thing that gave him all of the hints to even be able to get out of the situation that he's in right now. So it makes a lot of sense why this father has taken so many precautions, and even why the grandfather now had this bodyguard for this kid, because his father was supposedly the evil villain all along for some reason. And the whole point of his grandfather trying to give him the puppet, his grandfather trying to, teach him to own up to himself, you are you, no one can be you, and stuff like this. All of these messages that he kind of had. I mean, we got to remember this kid is still super, super young, so all of this stuff might have came and gone to him already, or, with all the trauma he's been going through recently, it's no surprise that um, all of that stuff has been kind of left behind. And when we get to see just the overall place that this is going, man, oh my god. So somehow our main character, our kid that we started out with, he is the grandson of one of the people who pretty much are they're the not puppet masters, but yeah, well, they are puppet masters, but at the same time he's one of the silver-haired people. So he's been suffering through the Midnight Circus for all this time, and even the times he was like with with his grandson, he was still putting on a front and laughing and having fun, even though he has that crazy thing in his body. And I'm kind of guessing at this point, because he only has this. He didn't really have the silver hair looking, or like we didn't know what it meant to have that type of hair back when we were even talking about the grandfather or having flashbacks to him. So all us like white-haired people were just casual, like maybe old people. So no one really thought that if you had the white hair, you're one of the people that can't die forever and you suffer from the disease. You know what I mean? When the show first started. So to know that that is the case, and his grandfather having seemingly all of the conditions that the other people, like Faceless, was more like, where he kept his emotions, but he mainly kept them for his own selfish reasons, because he didn't want to be a lifeless person with no actual, traits about him and stuff like that. So that's just one of the things that is crazy about this whole reveal of the grandpa and stuff. But for some reason, it's like he got into a battle, probably with his son, or even with the Midnight Circus by himself or something, and he lost his whole lower half. And this man has been in a freaking tank, like trying to get back. He's just been sleeping or something, or maybe they're making like some robot or some puppeteer part legs for him or something along those lines. I don't know, but it's scary because when he sees his grandson, and from the news he's already gotten from these people who attacked his grandson, the only thing he could think of is that the download is complete. No, the reason why this kid has gone to this area should only be because he has awakened. Um, Even though all of that has been said about him and everything, he still showed the emotion of the grandson that he should have known, and he completely shut it down. He told him to stand his ground and said the father's name and not the son's name. So that was also very clear that the grandpa is completely going with what he believes, and not to mention that if it is his, I mean, imagine that his son, not his grandson, could pull off acting like that. Oh, acting like, oh, grandpa, and crying when snot coming down the nose, all that stuff. He believed that his son was capable of doing that and probably getting in close and destroying him or something along those lines, you know? Or I don't know. It ends right when he says stop, and he's like, "Come on, Grandpa, like it's me, your boy," you know. So I'm just guessing that he imagined that that isn't him, and if it isn't him, if he gets too close, that's GG. So an amazing, amazing comeback for this show after its 1 week of hiatus. Um, it's good to have the show back. I truly enjoyed this episode, getting to see this kid and knowing that he already was on the run and that we hadn't heard anything from him. Kind of sucked, but I saw a preview last week, like last Thursday, and when the show didn't even come out, so it was nice to know that at least the preview came out somewhere. So I'm probably gonna have to follow a Twitter or something. I'll probably leave a link for the channel that I saw the preview for, because that really helped me out and gave me hope that I wasn't missing this episode and it was just late or something like that. So overall, everybody, thank you so much for the support. If you haven't checked out my Promised Neverland video, it'll be greatly appreciated if you show it some support as well if you're watching this first. Or if you're coming over from the Promised Land, the Promised Neverland, thank you so much for the support, and I will talk to you in the next one, because your boy got that daily upload schedule. So I am the Anime G, and I will definitely be at you on Friday with some new anime. So talk to you then. Alright, peace. Oh yeah, and if you want to know more about Thanos, you can message me or something in the comments if you actually want to know more about what's going on with Thanos, how he got to that situation, and yada yada, because I do keep up with a little bit of everything, but this channel's mainly about anime, so let's keep it 100, you know what I'm saying? So, alright everybody, peace. I'm gonna beat this girl. What? What? Alright, screw it. Reality Stone!